In the beginning, was the scream not the word? A scream older than language, older than the herd's lullabies. You were not born in peace. You were thrown into the storm, naked, roaring, orphaned by the gods who abandoned Olympus out of boredom with your ancestors' prayers. You wake each morning as a question mark, curled beneath a blanket of obligations. You have called this comfort, called this safety, called this virtue, but you know it by another name at night. Your own captivity. He who cannot command himself forever remains a servant, even if the world should kneel before him. Listen, the chains around your wrists, they sing. They do not shackle you to the world. They shackle you to your former selves, to inherited laws, to tired dreams. They are not forged of iron, but of whispers what you should, what you must, what you cannot. Each link is a yesterday, a parent's sigh, a teacher's rule, a priest's promise, a lover's compromise. And Julian by birth, Lamb by habit, they've called this music fate. How convenient, how cowardly, how ordinary. You believe your weakness because it speaks your language, because it cradles you with the tender hands of resignation. You believe your suffering because it is familiar, but your weakness is lying to you. It whispers, stay small, stay hidden, stay grateful for the scraps. It is the ghost of the herd inside your skull, gnawing at your courage. Every virtue once was a wildness tamed by the many, neutered by repetition. But what is virtue for the one who walks alone, eyes burning, whose laughter echoes in the abyss? No one will save you, not the gods, not the prophets, not the algorithms, not the therapists. No algorithm can resurrect a will that has not chosen its own resurrection. No priest can bless a spirit that kneels, only to be told it is not damned. No democracy can crown the one who refuses his own sovereignty. You are the king, in exile from the kingdom you never dared to seize. The herd tells you, be like us, and you will be safe. But safe is not alive. Safe is not sovereign. Safe is a mausoleum with scented candles. The lions sleep beneath the city, dreaming of sun and slaughter, while you pace your little room, convinced you are awake. But I am the fire that comes to burn your house of sleep. I am the thunder that cracks the shell of your beliefs. I am the storm that unmasks your patience as cowardice, and your patience is paralysis. You want to be understood? The stones understand the river by letting it pass, untouched. But the river is not born to be understood. The river is born to devour the land and carve valleys in the face of the world. The greatest deeds are misunderstood, for they belong to the future, not the present. You crave a witness? The gods have gone blind from watching you refuse your own metamorphosis. You want applause? The abyss claps only for those who leap. There is a secret pact, older than history, written not in law but in the blood. He who kneels for peace dies untested. You have not come here to be comforted. You have come here to be set on fire. Once, man walked the earth as a storm, in flesh half beast, half God, all hunger. Now you scroll and click and sigh and wait for instructions. You worship the idols of consensus, of progress, of health, of balance. But all these are the painted masks of spiritual death. Your sickness is not that you suffer. Your sickness is that you refuse to suffer for your own becoming. You want the comfort of the old values, but the birthright of the new. You want to inherit strength, as if it were currency or citizenship. But strength is not inherited. Strength is seized, stolen, forged in the crucible, where comfort is slaughtered and fear is made holy. The abyss is not your enemy. It is your birth canal. Look around you. The herd marches to the drumbeat of compromise, chanting the hymns of productivity, efficiency, mindfulness. But these are lullabies for the half-dead. You are told to let go, accept, heal. But I tell you, wound yourself anew on purpose. Only a spirit torn open can become a vessel for the unknown. What have you accepted? Your limitations because they came wrapped in wisdom? Your weakness because it masqueraded as humility? Your despair because it was prescribed as realism? You have not accepted life. You have surrendered to survival. You are told to find meaning. But meaning is not a destination, it is a battlefield. It is the place where the old gods are buried and new gods are born. It is the rope stretched above the abyss, and you, the trembling walker. There is no why, except the one you carve with blood from your own hands. Blessed are the destroyers, for they shall inherit the earth they have made holy. You wish to be loved? Do not ask for love. Become the one for whom love is too small a word. You wish to be seen? Do not beg for sight, become the vision that blinds. You wish to be free? Do not seek freedom, become the law by which the future judges itself. You kneel before the mirror, asking it for approval. But the mirror is a liar. It shows you only your own hesitation, dressed in your features. Break the mirror. Become the wound that refuses to close. Who dares say, I am my own law? Who dares say, I do not seek forgiveness for the fire in my veins? Who dares say, I am the heretic that turns temples into volcanoes? The soul that does not wage war against itself is a prisoner awaiting execution. Do not believe in your scars. Believe in your capacity to choose where the next wound will be. Do not believe in destiny. Believe in the hands that seize it by the throat and twist it into new forms. Do not believe in hope. Believe in the hunger that devours hope and grows teeth from the marrow. It is said, blessed are the meek. But I say to you, blessed are the volcanoes that bury cities in silence, for they need not ask permission to erupt. Are you listening? Or are you just waiting for a lullaby? Are you living, or just rehearsing the death of your dreams? Do you remember how it felt? To want without shame, to hunger without apology, to howl at the dark because you refuse to kneel. Only those who risk madness shall know their own sanity. There are no straight paths. There are only labyrinths, and the minotaur within you who demands a tribute of fear every dawn. You want a guide, a map, a system, a method. But what is the map to a man who chooses to walk where the roads end? What is the guide for the one who invents new stars to follow? You are told to find balance. But balance is the posture of the corpse. Balance is the mask worn by the spirit afraid to tip the scales, afraid to spill its own blood, afraid to wage the war that will birth a new order. I am not here to show you the way out. I am here to remind you that you are the storm that shatters ways. There is no peace for the lion who remembers the taste of flesh. There is no rest for the God who returns to reclaim his forgotten altars. You are not broken. You are dreaming. And I am the earthquake of remembrance. What is not burned away is not worthy of remaining. You flinch from pain, from rage, from the animal beneath your reason. You call this growth. But growth is not a retreat, it is a revolution. It is the moment when the seed splits itself open and becomes unrecognizable to its former self. You worship at the altar of comfort, but comfort is the enemy of metamorphosis. The caterpillar dreams of safety, but the butterfly is born by tearing its own house apart. You want to heal? Then learn to wound. Learn to destroy what no longer serves the fire. Learn to be the sculptor who smashes the clay until the god emerges. What is strength? It is not muscle, not endurance, not the ability to bear burdens. Strength is the will that laughs at suffering, that calls misfortune a teacher, that drinks chaos and spits out new worlds. You ask, who am I? But the answer is not a sentence. It is a scream. It is a deed. It is a declaration hurled into the void and answered by thunder. He who has a why to live can bear almost any how, but only if the why is his own. Are you ready to betray your comfort for the sake of your becoming? Are you ready to lose yourself, to find the God who sleeps in your bones? Are you ready to forsake applause, to become a symphony for no ears but your own? I offer you no comfort only, a mirror that burns. I offer you no hope only, a rope across the abyss. I offer you no salvation, only the chance to resurrect the forgotten God within. The world you see is not the world that is, but the world that remains after you have looked away from your own sovereignty. The world is a prison for the one who cannot shatter his own walls. He who looks too long into the abyss finds the abyss staring back, but he who leaps becomes the star that lights its darkness. You were not born to be understood. You were born to unmake the world. You were not born to be loved. You were born to become worthy of love's terror. Do not wait for the world to give you permission to be dangerous. Do not wait for your suffering to end before you claim your birthright. Do not wait for the gods to return. They died of boredom with your prayers. The lion does not apologize for the slaughter. The star does not apologize for the night. The fire does not apologize for the ashes it leaves behind. There are no final answers, only the courage to become the question. And you are the question the world is too afraid to ask. You are the storm that refuses to pass. You are the new law, written in the grammar of rebellion. Stand up, shatter the clock, burn the scriptures, drown the whisper of your weakness in the roar of your own resurrection. For your weakness is lying to you, and your strength is the truth that will set the world ablaze. Awaken, O volcano. Dance, O abyss. Create, O God of the future. For the old gods are dead, and the only sin left is to kneel before the grave. The herd shivers at dawn, trembling for news, for approval, for anything but the agony of their own thoughts. While you, sovereign exile, stand naked before the void, your veins electric with defiance, eyes unblinking as the night whispers your true name. The priest, the teacher, the friend, the father each carves a mask for you and calls it virtue, but the air behind the mask grows thin, suffocating. You have forgotten how to breathe fire. You have traded your wildness for a grave, your clarity for comfort, your birthright for a coin minted by cowards. But a coin buys nothing in the kingdom of becoming. Only wounds, only hunger, only that mad leap which tears the soul free from its husk. In every city, the temples of progress rise, hollow and cold, filled with ghosts reciting ancient formulas of obedience. Thou shalt fit in, thou shalt adjust, thou shalt fear the stranger within. I have come with a hammer for these temples, with laughter for these rituals, with a silence that howls. You believe the lie of moderation, the myth of compromise, as if the volcano can negotiate with the village it will bury. Yet every compromise is a slow suicide, every moderation a poison that accumulates in the marrow until the body dreams only of sleep and calls it peace. Why do you kneel? Who has told you that your longing is dangerous, that your solitude is an illness? Who has convinced you to fear your own questions, to muzzle your appetite for the impossible? The weak spirit loves answers. The strong spirit devours them, leaving only the hunger that propels it into the unknown. He who answers every riddle is already dead. Only the living dare to remain a question, eternally becoming, eternally unconsumed. A lion does not beg for food. It hungers, it hunts, it kills, it eats. Yet you have been trained to beg for permission, to muzzle your will, to accept the meager ration of identity dispensed by others. You were meant to roar, but you have learned to purr. You were meant to create, but you have settled for commentary. Every day you repeat the liturgy of weakness. I am not enough. I must wait. I must earn my right to exist. But who, I ask you, will issue this permission slip from the void? The void laughs, for it knows only those who seize, who demand, who create from nothing. The hour is late. Your gods are dust. The last priest kneels before a silent altar. The ashes of your ancestors fill the air, and every breath tastes of yesterday. Will you too become dust, or will you ignite? The only altar that remains is the self made holy by revolt, by refusal, by the sacrament of risk. Burn your patience, shatter your hope, laugh at your own need for reassurance. Stand up, solitary one, and declare war on all you have inherited, all you have swallowed, all you have outgrown. The world is no longer enchanted. It is systematized, cataloged, sedated. The stars have been named, the forests mapped, the mysteries bled dry by those who worship knowledge as a substitute for wonder. But still, beneath the machinery, the old magic stirs the will that says yes to chaos, that courts danger, that dances on the brink of its own destruction. The world fears the solitary spirit because it cannot be predicted, cannot be domesticated, cannot be sold. To be unclassifiable is the only true rebellion. To be untranslatable is the only true language. You are told to seek balance, to pursue harmony, as if the music of becoming is a lullaby and not a thunderstorm. But life is not an equation. It is a flame. To live is to burn, to scorch the earth behind you, to leave a trail of ashes for lesser spirits to fear. Do not aim for happiness. Aim for greatness, for the ecstatic agony of becoming more than you are allowed, more than the world is willing to bear. Weakness seduces with softness, with comfort, with the slow death of certainty. But strength is the refusal to end, the refusal to explain, the refusal to be known. Strength is the leap without promise, the yes to the terror of one's own infinite possibility. The world will hate you for your excess, for your laughter, for your refusal to heal the wound they have made holy. But I say, let them hate. Let them gnash their teeth and pray for your ruin. You are not here to be loved. You are here to set fire to the prison. The abyss is not an enemy. It is your womb, your altar, your inheritance. Stare into it and let it stare into you. Feel its gaze become a sun, a blaze, a summons to wildness. The rope walker does not seek applause. He walks for the sake of the trembling, for the brush of wind, for the terror that reminds him he is alive. What is life, if not this dance above the abyss, if not this relentless creation of meaning from nothing? You have inherited a dying language, words like good, evil, normal, broken. Spit them out. Invent your own grammar, your own alphabet of defiance. Speak in the syntax of storms, in the lexicon of volcanoes, in the vowels of the lion's roar. Become unrecognizable. Let your life be a prophecy that no priest dares to interpret. You want closure? You want peace? Only the dead are closed. Only the buried are at peace. The living are always open, always wounded, always in revolt against what is. Do not seek to heal the wound. Make it holy. Let it blossom. Let it be the mark by which the gods recognize their own. The herd will mock you, will try to shame you, will offer you anesthetics and applause and belonging. Refuse them all. To belong is to betray yourself. To be accepted is to be tamed. Let your rejection become a crown. Let your solitude become a throne. Every true act is a blasphemy against yesterday. Every true thought is a sword. Every true love is a crucifixion and a resurrection. Are you willing to pay this price? Are you willing to be crucified by the world so that you may rise a god to yourself? The world is burning. Will you burn with ire? Will you ignite something that can never be extinguished? Strength is the song you sing in the dark, when no one is listening, when no one will ever remember your name. Strength is the crime against despair, the laughter in the slaughterhouse, the faith that grows teeth and devours its own prophets. Strength is the refusal to inherit, the willingness to create, the madness that calls itself God. There is no end. There is only the next ascent, the next abyss, the next act of creation. You are not finished, not complete, not Sapphonot ever. This is your liberation and your curse. Bless it. Bless the fire. Bless the wound. Bless the darkness that makes your dancing possible. You were not born to kneel. You were born to erupt. And now, walk. Walk into the storm. Walk until your name is forgotten, until your bones are dust, until your weakness is a rumor told by the frightened, until your strength is a myth that terrifies the future. Walk, and let the world shudder at the sound. You wander, half awake, through the labyrinth of days, your senses dulled by the steady drip of routine and reassurance, as if eternity itself had collapsed into the boredom of your daily bread. Where is your rage? Where is the riot of your birthright? The world has seduced you into mistaking survival for life, breath for destiny, obedience for harmony. There, in the echoing corridors of your mind, stalks the old hunger that once moved mountains, that once split the heavens, that once uttered the mad yes to existence, even as the abyss yawned wider. You have forgotten how to starve. You have forgotten how to ache. You sip, you nibble, you anesthetize. But the gods are not fed by crumbs, and your soul, famished, glares at you from behind the bars of your comforts. Your teachers lined you up in rows, filed your spirit into forms, drilled your blood into equations and platitudes. Your city blinks with screens, scrolls with commands. 1,000 digital shepherds herding you from one pasture to the next. Fit in, they say. But what is left of you after you have fit every mold? You call yourself a child of progress, but your ancestors mad, volcanic, untamed snarl at your temples of glass and steel, for they know a palace built for safety is nothing but a tomb for longing. You pray for the end of suffering, but suffering is the coal that tempers the sword, the night that breeds the storm. To be without suffering is to be without power, without vision, without the furnace in which new gods are forged. You, who have never shattered your own image, how can you know what it is to create? You, who have never murdered a beloved illusion, how can you claim to love truth? Every attachment is a chain, every certainty a cage, every answer a mausoleum. Cut yourself free. Bleed. Become homeless in your own soul, for it is only the homeless who dare to build new worlds. What do you worship, if not your own fear? What do you follow, if not your own shadow? You bargain for security, for recognition, for the soft ecstasy of acceptance. But I say, whoever trades his agony for applause sells his birthright for ashes. Stand alone. Let your trembling be your cathedral. Let your terror be your trumpet. Let the world recoil from the animal in your laughter, the prophet in your solitude. I speak not to your comfort, but to the demon coiled in your gut, the primordial arsonist who remembers the fire before the world was named. You wish to be redeemed, but redemption is for those who regret their wildness. I do not offer you peace. I offer you resurrection, through holy war, through the breaking of every boundary, the overturning of every sacred cow. The herd is fat with tradition, drunk on memory, but youthen, famished, hunted by visions are already halfway to the next mountain. Let them call you arrogant. Let them call you mad. Let them call you criminal. What is madness but a loyalty to a future that the world has not yet earned? What is crime but the audacity to love a higher law? Let them crucify you. The cross is the oldest throne of the strong. Let them exile you. The desert is the oldest playground of the gods. Dance naked in your wilderness. Howl your defiance into the winds that erase names and cities alike. When your voice shatters glass, when your steps send cracks through the pillars, only then will you know you are no longer a man, but a beginning. You thirst for truth, but truth is a blade and a poison, not a balm. Truth is the enemy of comfort, the executioner of lies, the silent hand that snuffs the candles of old altars. To seek truth is to consent to disintegration, to the necessary murder of everything that kept you innocent. There is no arrival, no rest, no doctrine that can cradle you forever. The road climbs into darkness. The horizon is made of teeth. Listen, do you hear it? The future is not calling your name. It is waiting for you to invent it, to shape it from the sinew of your will, to name it in the language of risk, to carve it into being with wounds that do not close. The poets lied to you. Love is not gentle, not a cure, not a refuge. Love is a predator, a fever, a crucible that leaves nothing but bone and revelation. If you have not burned for something, you have not loved. If you have not been destroyed by your longing, you have not yet lived. Refuse the comfort of the familiar, the narcotic of nostalgia. Instead, resurrect your wildness. Feed your loneliness until it grows wings. Let your hunger become a god who demands sacrifice and answers only to fire. You wish to be certain, but certainty is the sleep of the herd. Certainty is the white shroud pulled over the corpse of adventure. Cast it away. Choose the trembling, the dizzy, the trembling again. Only the uncertain are alive. Only those who wander are worthy of arrival. If you find a truth, shatter it. If you build a temple, burn it. If you are loved, betray the lover, for every attachment must be tested by flame if it is to become more than habit. Every era worships its own weakness in new disguises once. It was gods and kings. Now, it is science and systems. But the deeper the order, the more the chaos stirs beneath. The world wants your obedience because your revolt would make it obsolete. The law wants your guilt because your innocence is a crime against every tribunal. They will call your wildness sin, your vision madness, your laughter blasphemy. So let them call. The world is a prison built by cowards and torn down by criminals. You dream of being saved, but no one is coming. Salvation is a myth for the tired, a story told by the dying. The gods are dead, and their thrones are empty. If you want redemption, make it yourself. Forgive yourself by betraying everything that made you small. Baptize yourself in your own sweat, in your own blood, in the avalanche of your own destruction. Is your spirit awake yet? Does your blood howl? Does your heart still whisper the old excuses? Or has it begun to chant the names of new gods, gods not yet born, gods that will bear your face and none other? There are no chosen ones, only those who choose. There are no masters, only those who dare to disobey. There are no heavens, only the heights you claw from the screaming earth, dragging yourself upward by the hair, cursing and laughing as you rise. The summit is always just above the clouds of your comfort, and every step is a betrayal of who you were yesterday. You are not the sum of your wounds. You are not the echo of your failures. You are not the victim of your own life. You are the volcano that must erupt, the abyss that must stare back, the god that must awaken in the ashes of his own despair. Rise, then. Rise and unmake the world. Leave no doctrine standing, no stone unturned, no god unchallenged. Let the old words fall from your mouth like rotten fruit. Speak only in thunder. Walk only on fire. Dream only of the impossible. For your weakness is not a sickness. It is a lie, and only you can murder it. You have wandered the deserts of your own, forgetting, fed by shadows, clothed in borrowed names, your heartbeat a muffled drum drowned by the march of 1,000 silent yesterdays. The stars have not judged you. The abyss has not closed. You have only paused before the altar of fear, bowed not to gods, but to the ghosts of your own hesitation. But now the air is thick with omen, and the bones beneath your flesh begin to tremble with a music older than hope, older than despair. Listen, the silence is breaking. Your breath is no longer your own. The storm waits for you. It coils in your marrow, laughing. The herd flees its thunder, but you, exile, fire-bearer, betrayer of all that is finished, stand barefoot at its edge, demanding entry. The past claws at your ankles, dragging its fetters, its commandments, its tired wisdom. But you are already halfway into lightning. Each step tears skin from soul, illusion from memory, until nothing remains but the ache to begin again, to become something the world cannot name. Let the old loves curse you. Let the old truths dissolve upon your tongue like ash. To become sovereign, you must become unspeakable. No mother tongue will claim you, no homeland, no law, no tribe only. The wild grammar of necessity, the stammer of the spirit, inventing new verbs beneath the avalanche. What is left when all belonging is burned away? Only the will that will not yield. Only the fire that refuses to die. Only the laughter that echoes after every god is silent. They will call it arrogance. They will call it cruelty. But what do the starved call? The one who dances, the one who devours, the one who shatters every clock and walks free of time. Their hymns are not for you. Their tears are not for you. Their forgiveness is a poison. Accept nothing. Demand everything. Greet your sorrow as a prophet, your fear as a sculptor, your loneliness as a sword. All that is precious is born in the wilderness. All that endures is forged in refusal. You have stood at the edge of the abyss and survived your own reflection. You have watched the world's masquerade and declined the invitation. You have seen yourself naked in the eyes of fate and not looked away. What more do you require? The sun itself is a wound that never closes. The dawn is nothing but a scar the night could not keep. Embrace your scars. Let them blossom into visions that burn the future into being. Be warned. The world will punish you for every joy that does not come pre-approved, every longing that refuses the leash, every madness that dares to build its cathedral in your chest. Let it. The world is a pyre for old dreams. Be the unquenchable ember. The law is written for the timid. Be the crime that sanctifies the earth. There will come a day when the last chain cracks, when the last lie shivers, when you lift your head and see the horizon split, a world ending and a world beginning in the same breath. Do not mourn the dying order. Do not rescue the crumbling idols. With a single scream, become the dawn. And when you are left alone at the summit, no audience but the sky, no applause but the wind, no crown but your own pulse, kneel, if you must, but only to the wild God within, the God that has no name, the God that is not good, the God that is not safe, the God that is the answerless question, the wound that makes you whole. Now stand. Stand as if you were the first and the last. Stand as if nothing has ever been written, as if the world waits for you to say yes and begin. Let the abyss inherit your old silence. Let the future learn to tremble at the roar in your chest. For you are the fire the night could not smother. You are the truth that tears the veil. You are the strength that buries weakness with a song. Your weakness was always lying to you, and your strength, the untamed, unblessed, unconsoled, was the only truth worth becoming. Now, let the world burn. Let the stars fall. Let every chain rattle its last. And let you, the sovereign, the unrepentant, the nameless and necessary, be the first to dance in the ashes.